This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in order to create your tables, views, or any database objects, the first step you need to do is you have to create a database. Okay, so here if I explore the Object Explorer, here I can see all the databases available here. Okay, we have seen how to create a database yesterday. Like just right click on this databases node, select new database, and provide the name. Say okay. Here database name, fill this field and say okay. So it will create one database for us. Yesterday we created one database like this, right? I think DB May and DB May 2. We can create database using queries also. Okay, how can we do that? So for that, let me click on new query. So here if you see in the ribbon, I have an option called new query. Okay, it will open one editor for you, one empty file. Okay, so comment creating database. Okay, so I want to create a database like this. Create database, say db underscore may batch. I'm giving a name of my wish. Okay, I have to select this and say execute. Commands completed successfully. So one database is created. Okay, if I refresh here, I can see db may batch. Okay, db underscore may batch. The database is available for me. If I expand here, I have to create tables. Okay. Already some system tables are available. If you create any tables, under tables node, we can see the tables. Okay, let us create one table. Before creating one table, of course, we don't know how to create a table and all. I want to tell you one thing. So I am creating one table. Say for example, create table TPL1. Okay, so let's say ID int. Only one column I have taken, and I'm trying to create one table here. So its name is TBL1. So if I execute this query, what happens is it will create, see here, assume that this is syntax for creating a table. Okay, we have to give create table, table name. This is the name what we want. Then within the parentheses, we have to provide some columns and their data types. Okay, like column name, I have provided ID, and integer is the data type for me. So I selected these statements and I have executed. So it is saying commands completed successfully. That means table got created. But here, if I refresh, I can't see the table. I can't see the table. Here, this is important for you guys. So what we need to do is, if you go to system databases and master database and tables, see here, the table is created here, table 1. Okay, dbo dot table 1. dbo means schema actually. dbo is the default schema. Even if you mention or not, it will consider dbo. Okay, so why the table has been created inside master database, that we need to understand. If I click on in the editor window here, if you see left hand side here at the top, what is selected here? Master is selected here. That means we are in the context of master database. Okay, it's a drop down list. You have to select db may batch. Then if you run the query, you are in the db underscore may batch, so the query will be executed against the db underscore may batch. Then if I execute the same query, now the table will be created under db underscore may batch database. Okay, so I can do like I can select the database of my desire in the drop down list, or I have one option, one query like use db underscore may batch. Okay, two options are there for me, so I can go here and I can select the drop down list. For example, I selected tempdb. Okay, now see here, I'll run one query, use db underscore may batch. If I run this, what happens? See here, the context is automatically changed here. Now if I create a table, if I create one dummy table, for example, okay, go to db underscore may batch, refresh the tables here. See here, dbo.tbl1, one table is created here. Okay, so the point to remember here is when you are executing any queries against any database, you make sure you are in the context of that database. How to make sure? Just go and see here what is the database selected here. Based on this, your queries will be executed against the database. Okay, so we have seen how to create a database and how to use the database. Okay, these two are the queries. Okay, I will save this file so that I can share this file at the end of the session. So let me save it. Python SQL Server. Or practice queries. Okay. Okay. Now let us go to creating the table. Creating table, or let us see the DDL statements. Okay, data definition language statements. Before that, let me show you some data types for your idea. See here, while creating table, we need to provide some number of columns, and for each column, we have to provide the data type also. We have to mention the data type also. If you see here, in this example, I have created one table called TBL1. In this table, I have only one column. The column name is ID and its data type is integer. In the same way, if you want to create some more columns like name, okay, you have to provide the data type like this. Okay, so while creating a table, we have to provide the column name along with the data types. What are the different data types available in SQL Server? Here is a list. Okay, integer database is used to, integer data type is used to store integral values, like integer values, like how you are using in your program. In the same way, int works here as an integer number. And next, char is used to store group of characters. Okay, char means nothing but our string data type. In our program, we use the string data type. In database, we use char and varchar. Okay, char means if you declare one column as a char, there is a max size limit. It can store up to 8,000 characters only. Okay, if you take varchar, variable length characters. So if you say varchar for as a data type for one column, you can have it's not like a fixed size based on the value you are giving. So it will take the values. If you see here in this example, I have mentioned like name is a variable name, and varchar of 50 I said. So up to 50 characters it will take. Okay, so if I declare as a char, it will take 8,000 characters. So remaining all character space is waste for me. Unnecessarily, I'm creating extra space. So if I create varchar of 50, only 50 characters related space will be allocated. So we are saving some space. Okay. Again, next data type is text data type. It is similar to varchar only. So it will take the max length. Okay, so there are three different types we have to store string data: char, varchar, and text. Mostly used one is regularly for string. When you are declaring one string, means you will go for varchar. This is the one you in real time you will be using regularly. Okay. Next one is nchar and nvarchar. Nchar and nvarchar are same like char and var only, but the difference is when you want to deal with Unicode characters, then we go for the nchar. Unicode character means, for example, you are creating one database for Spain country or France country, some other country, okay, and some values you are providing using Spanish language, their names, okay. They will write, of course they will use most of the alphabets from English only, but few characters will be different. If you are using such kind of characters, if you are declaring a variable as a varchar, it won't allow you. So you have to declare nchar or nvarchar so that it will support that Unicode values also. Unicode characters, we call them as Unicode characters. Unicode characters will also be accepted. Okay, when you want to deal with some other language specific characters, we go for nvarchar or nchar. Okay, next one is real, decimal, we have float. Okay, real, decimal and float we have. These data types are used to store the decimal values, like how we used the float data type in the programming language. In the same way they work. Okay, with slight differences. Mostly when you want to deal with decimal data, you can go for decimal or float. Okay, fine. Next we have data type related to date, time, and date time is also there. When you want to store year, months, and days, you can declare one variable as date. And if you want to deal with time, hours, minutes, and seconds, you can go with the time. Okay. We have one more data type called date time. So when you want to have both the date and time, you can say date time. Next, we have money. Money data type is also there. When you want to represent some numbers in the format of money, so in the dollars, if you want to mention something, you can declare a variable like a column like money also, so that it will take some comma separations kind of thing for millions, trillions, billions, like that. Okay. So these are some basic idea about the data types. So while writing the programs, queries, you will be getting familiarity. So how to create a database we have seen here. So create database name we have to provide. Next, use database name. Using these two statements, we can create one database and we can go into the context of the database. Okay. Once the database is created, if you want to see what are the different details of database, like where it is created, what is the size of the database initially, that kind of information. If you want to see, we have a query like sp underscore help db, sp underscore help db, and the database name if you provide, so it will give you some information about the database. So if you want to see, I can show that also quickly. So if I run this, I can see some information about the database. Okay, where the files are created, what is the size of this one, maximum size, blah blah blah, that kind of information you can find. Okay, our important part is creating table and dealing with the table. Okay, so okay, if you want to rename a database, I have mentioned one query here. If you want to rename one database, you can go to the database, just right click and say rename. That will work for you. Or you can use one query, sp underscore rename db, sp underscore rename db, and just provide the existing database name and a new database name what you want to change. Okay, so if you write like this, the database name will be renamed if you want. Okay, I don't want to put more focus on this database part, more with the tables I want to see, but let us see. Okay, instead of db underscore may batch, I want to say db underscore may only, for example. If I run this, it's executed successfully. Now if I refresh, see here db underscore may. Okay, so coming to database creation, we have seen how to use the database, we have seen how to see the details of the database, we have seen also how to rename the database, we have seen. Okay, SQL Server is case insensitive. Even if you are writing capital letters or small letters, it treats as the same. So you don't mind it. When you are comparing the values also, if you are comparing with capital letters and small letters, some demo is there. For example, demo if you are comparing two variables, for example, demo is one value and small demo is one value. If you are comparing these two, it will say both are same. Okay, SQL Server is case insensitive. It don't bother about whether you are providing capital letters or small letters. Okay, generally when you are writing any kind of queries, all the keywords, all the syntax related words we write in the capital letters. Okay, most of the people will follow this kind of standards. Okay, even if you don't write capital letters also, no problem. So user related variables and all we write in small letters, or whatever the case you want, but the syntax related keywords or reserved words will be there. So those words we generally write using capital letters. Okay, so that is the reason why I have written here in the capital letters, but you can write any case, that's fine. Okay, let us jump on to creating a table. So if you can see here, this is the syntax for creating a table. Okay, so create table, table name you have to provide. Table name is something you have to provide. So what of your desire, like what is the table name you want, you have to provide here. So inside the table name you have to pass the parameters like columns. So you have to say column name and the data type, and column name, next column name and its data type. Like that you have to provide different column names. Okay, so let us create one table and see. So before creating a table, I should be in the context of DB may. Or okay, I have checked here. I'm in the correct context. Let me create one table. For creating, I need more data. So okay, let us see. For now, let us deal with the DDL statements. Then we'll see when we are coming with data data part. Okay. So let me write a query. Create table. Maybe I can say TBL demo, I'll say. Okay, simply it's a demo. I open and open one parenthesis. So here I'll say ID int. Okay, first name varchar of 50. When you are creating a string, simply we by default we go for varchar. Okay, we'll say varchar and some number of characters. Lname equals to lname is varchar of 50. That's it. Okay, for now I'm creating one simple table and its name is TBL demo. This table should contain 3 columns. What are those 3 columns? ID, fname, lname, 3 columns. ID's data type is integer. Fname and lname are string data types. In database, when you want to create a string data type, what you have to say? You have to use char, varchar, and varchar, like that. So most reasonable one is for us varchar. So varchar of 50 I said. So in the first name and last name variables in the columns, I can upload, I can insert the data up to 50 characters. Okay, it will allow up to 50 characters. If you are trying to insert more than 50 characters, it won't accept you. It won't accept the query. Generally, first name and last name, they won't exceed 50 characters, right? So I'm just mentioning 50 characters. If I select this query and if I run, okay, I can see the message here, commands completed successfully. Okay, I can see how the table is created here. Okay, I want to see the schema of the table. Details of table created. Okay, sp underscore help tbl demo. This is the query. sp underscore help tbl demo. If I select this, I can see here some information about my table. Okay, are there any identity columns? Any primary keys are there? Everything will be listed here. So let us see the basic details. See here, it's the table name is tbl demo, and the schema is owner means is schema default owner dbo, and what it is, it's a user type. So sp help will work for all different types of objects in the database, not only for table. So for stored procedure also, view also, everything it will work. So it is saying what is the type of tbl1 is user table. So it is telling user table. That means it's a table created by the user. So created date and time here. And we got 3 columns here: ID, first name, and last name. And their data types are like this: int var, and length it is saying for int automatically it will take 4 bytes, and for first name and last name 50/50 it has taken as a memory. Okay, so this is simple information about the table. And if you want to see how many record, I mean, what are the all data that are available in this table, what we can say is select star from TBL demo. If you run this query, we can see the table. See here, for now it is an empty table. We haven't yet inserted any data. That's the reason why it is showing ID, fname, and lname. Okay, so we can modify the table definition. So currently its definition is it is having 3 columns, and we know their data types. And if you want to add some extra columns, yes, you can do. If you want to remove some columns, yes, you can do. So for that, we have to use DDL statements. DDL statements means you have to use the alter command for the table. Okay, so that is one option. You can execute the query, and also the another option is you can go here. You can go to your table, and here design will be there. Yes, design here. Design option is there. Go here. From here also, if you want to add a new column, type here, for example, location. Okay, varchar of 50. Like this, you can say and save it. Okay, this will also will add new columns, or if I want to remove one column, for example, I can just select one column and I can say delete column. Okay, so I deleted lname column. Like that. So from UI also you can make the changes to your table. After removing, I have to save. So see here, star is showing here. That means I haven't yet saved this. Until I save it, the change may not be reflected. So I have to save it. So lname will be removed from my table. So from here also you can do, and by using the queries also we can do. So if I select this statement and run, see here ID, fname, location. So one column is missing here. Okay. So because we deleted the column, we can expand the table and see the columns available here. So if I expand the table here, I got the columns. See here ID, fname, location. What are the different columns available here? I can see here. Okay, from UI, as I said, from here also I can create the new columns. I just right clicked on the selected new column. So it opened the design of my table, and it is allowing me to create new columns also, like this. I can drag and drop if I want to change the order of the columns. Okay, last name I created lastly, but I want to move it to top, so I just clicked and dragged to top one. Okay, so if I say save, got some error. Change is not because the following tables to be recreated. Some reason it is facing some problem. No problem. Let's create a new column. Name of 50. Save. Then it is saved. If I run this, get a new column here. Okay. In varchar, can we use chars as well as numbers? Yes, anything we can store. It is just like your string variable in your program. In string data type variable, you can store anything, right? Like numbers, special characters, anything we can store, right? In the same way, we can store anything for varchar also. Okay, inserting data and that part we will discuss in a while. For now, let us see how to deal with the definition of the table. Okay, so till here, any questions? Like so far we have created only table, and I have shown you how to see the design of the table and how to create new columns to the table. Okay, uh, can Can I create a table using the UI? Yes, I can create. Okay, I will just go to tables, say table. See here, first I need to provide the columns. ID equals to ID is int. Okay, some name varchar of 50 as it. Okay, that's it. So I have to click on save, or when I close, it will ask for the save. I have to provide the table name so that the table will be created. And if you notice here, column name is fine. It's the name of the column, and data type also we know. What is this allow nulls? And it is by default checked. So that means allow nulls means in simple terms, they are not required fields. While inserting data, if allow nulls is unchecked here, for example, that means, for example, for ID field, it is like this. Okay, allow nulls field is unchecked. That means ID field is not null field. We call it as a not null field. Not null field means it's a required field. While inserting data, you must insert some data into ID field. If you uncheck that, if it is checked, okay, even if you provide data for that column or not, it will accept. Okay, so it will decide whether the column information is mandatory or optional. So now I want to save this. So TBL2, for example, say okay. So if I refresh here, I got the TBL2 table also. Okay, there are two ways we can create the table. Using the query, you can create the table, and also using the UI by right clicking and selecting the table, you can create the table. Also, for modification of the table definition, we can use the queries. You can go to the design of the table just by right clicking on the table and select a design, add the extra columns you want, and remove the columns you don't want, change the data type of the column, like that. Whatever the operations you want to do, you just do using the UI. And at the end, once you're done with the changes, you have to save the changes. Just say Control S or click on the save button. It will save. Okay. Now let us alter the table using comments. Alter table using comments. Okay. When we are talking about alteration, what we can do is we can add a new column, we can change the data type of one column, or we can drop one column. These are the operations we can do. Okay, to do that, what I can write is alter table TBL demo, for example, add column. I want to add one column, phone, for example, varchar of 50. Okay, I have written statement like this. So what operation I want to do? I want to do some alter operation. So alter table name. Okay, I provided the table name. Then what I want to do? I want to add one column here. Okay, so let me say add column to table. Okay, so add phone varchar of 50. If I run this, commands completed successfully. Let me run select star from TBL demo. Okay, see here, I got the new column phone. Or you can go to here, what is my table name? TBL demo. I'll just expand here, and columns also I'll expand. See here, phone varchar of 50 and nullable type. Okay, allow nulls is there. So a column is created for me. New column is created for me. So when you are dealing with these columns, like altering these columns, like adding, removing, or updating, that is known as data definition language commands. These commands are nothing but the data definition language commands. Okay. So I have added the column. How to delete the column? Let me delete the column. Delete column from table. Anything you want to deal with columns or columns, what you are doing, you are altering the table. So you have to say alter table command tbl demo. Okay, alter table tbl demo, drop column, I'll say phone, for example. Drop will delete the column. Not only column, for tables also we use the drop command. So I'll say alter table name, drop column and column name. So the phone column from this TBL demo will be removed. commands executed successfully. If I go here and refresh, see here, only 4 columns are there. Phone column is deleted here. Okay. Now location is here. Location data type is like a string data type, and it is storing 50 characters, right? Varchar of 50. I want to change its data type. Okay, how can I change it? Let me say change data type of column. Okay, of course this change also belongs to table only, so I'll say alter table tbl demo. Okay, alter say location. Here you have to provide the new data type, for example int or anything. For location, if you are saying int, it may not be meaningful, so varchar of 100 I'll say. Okay, previously it is 50, now I'll say 100. If you see here, location is giving some exception. I think here I have to say column, alter column. Okay, alter column. So I'm going to alter the column, and location is the column name, and the new data type I'm giving here. Okay, so if I select this and run this, command executed successfully. If I refresh, see here, location column data type is updated to varchar of 100 from varchar of 50, right? So these are the different alter statements we can use. So you don't want to continue with, say for example, you want to delete the table. You can simply say drop table tbl demo. So if you run this, sorry, drop table name. If you write like this, and if you select and execute this statement, your table will be removed. Instead of tbl demo, I'll delete tbl2. Okay, tbl2. Okay, so if I run this, commands executed successfully, and if I refresh, tbl2 is removed from here. Okay, so let me check if I'm missing something. Truncate is also there. For deleting table, we have two options actually. Drop table name is there. Truncate table name is there. Okay, two options are there. When you use truncate, so what happens is it will delete only data. So it will keep the schema as it is. Like the column names and column data types will be still there with the table when you are using truncate. When you are using drop, it will remove data and schema also. The entire table object will be removed. So what if don't give star in select star from command? Ganesh, please wait, Ganesh. We are not yet talking about the data part. We are not talking about that retrieving command. We are just discussing about DDL. So after DDL, we will go to the next step. See, we are here, DDL statements. Next, we need to understand data manipulation language. Then we have to understand data retrieval. So we'll talk about select statement in a while. Okay. So data definition language commands. Is it clear to everyone? So if you are completely new to the database, you have to practice and you must remember the commands. So it's all about how you practice and remember the commands. We can't do anything. We have to remember. That's it. Of course, anytime you can search for the internet, search in the internet for the syntax of any command, like in SQL Server, how to alter column name or column data type. Like that, if you search, we will get some examples. Based on the examples, we can write the query. Either you have to depend on Google, or you have to remember the syntaxes. How can we remember the syntax? If we have to do some practice. Okay. So any questions so far? Till now, we discussed about creating database, creating a table, and a couple of data types we have seen. Also, we discussed about data definition language comments. Data definition language means those which will be operated against the columns of the table, like adding a new column, changing the data type of the column, removing the column, like that. So they will affect the definition of the table. So they are known as data definition language comments. Any questions so far? Please confirm me. Is it clear? So that I'll go to the next one. Yes, is it clear so far? Shall I move forward? DML, DML comments. Okay. Yes, just give me 1 minute. Guys, is it clear so far? So next we'll see data manipulation language. Data manipulation means it works against the data. So let us see how we can insert some data into a table and how to update and delete operations, how we can do those operations. Okay. I'm just looking for some commands so that mm, mm, mm. I have more examples with customer table. Okay, good. I have one table here. So that okay. Customer customer. Okay, we can use these queries. Okay, first let us see how to insert, update, delete data into a table. Then we'll go for retrieval. So let me open. What is the table I have? So select star from TBL demo. Okay, guys, select star from TBL demo is one command. It's a retrieval command actually. What it will give is, it will give all the columns and all the rows of a table. It is used to retrieve all the columns and all the rows of a specific table. Okay, that is the purpose of select star from table table name. So how to insert the data into table? Okay, to insert this command I'm using to see what data I have inserted. So I'm just keeping it handy. So insert the data. How to insert data into table? So we have to use one command like insert, okay, into table name. I have to say, okay, insert. It's straightforward, right? Insert into table name. To which table you want to do? What you want to do? You want to do insert operation. Okay. Then you have to provide the column names. What are the columns I have? ID column I have, F name column I have, location, and L name. Okay. Then I have to say values, and here I have to provide the values here. Say 1 for example, say Vamsi, location Hyderabad, and Kamal, for example. Okay. Here, if you are inserting data to all the columns of your table, you don't have to provide this. Okay, you can directly use the values. And for example, I don't want to insert location data. Like this also I can pass. Okay, if I say insert into table name, ID, F name, L name, values 1 comma Vamsi comma Kamal. So if I run this statement, what happens is it will insert data into only ID, F name, and L name. For 3 columns only we are inserting the data. Okay, if for example location variable is not null variable, okay, if it is a not null variable, then if I am trying to insert data like this, it won't accept. It will expect the location value also. Okay, here location is optional for me. If you see here design, see all are allow nulls. That means even if you don't provide value for any of the columns here, it will accept. Okay, so let me add location also, and the order also is important. So based on the order you are passing, this order doesn't mean to match with this order, but based on the order you are giving here, you have to pass the respective values in the same order. If you say last name before location, you provide the last name before the location. And if you see here, location column is it is showing in blue color. Why it is showing in blue color is, I think one column, one reserved column is already there in the SQL Server with name location. That is the reason why it is showing blue color. Generally, if you are using any keyword for your column name, or if you have any spaces like this, location of user like this, okay, if you have any spaces in the column, what you have to do is you have to enclose with the square brackets. Okay, let us see without the square brackets. If it is working, then fine, otherwise we have to use the square brackets. Okay, so see here, insert into table name, I'm passing the columns here, ID, first name, location, and L name. Only ID is integer, remaining all are string data types here. So for ID I can pass the number like this, 1, that's it. Remaining all are string. In SQL Server, when you want to insert the data of string, what you need to do is you have to enclose with the single quotes. Okay, all the string data when you are dealing with, you have to enclose using the single quotes. So here within the quotation marks, you can provide anything like numbers, you can provide alphabets, you can provide special characters, you can provide anything, it will accept. Okay, just remember because it is varchar, we are passing English letters. So if you want to deal with any Unicode characters like other country language kind of thing, so which are not direct alphabets of English, so then you have to declare the data type of location variable as nvarchar. Okay, that is one point we need to remember. So let me run this query. See, one row affected. Okay, let me execute this query also. Select star from TBL demo. See here, I got the data. Okay, Vamsi, Hyderabad, Kamal, I got. I want to insert one more record. Let me copy paste here. So I'll say maybe some random name. I'll say ID equals to 2. Sorry, Rajesh Kumar, for example. Delhi. Okay. So I want to insert one more record. So I just copied the same command, same query. I just changed the values here. So let me run this. One row affected. So if I run this, see here, I got the second row also inserted. So this is how we can insert data into table. Okay, just to have some better visibility. I'm just splitting. Okay, no problem. You can split like this, and you can select the entire statement and execute it. This is to insert data. After inserting, you realize that for 1C, you for record 1, record with ID 1, you inserted data like HYD. Instead of HYD, you want to insert like Hyderabad. Okay, by mistake you have updated like HYD. So to update data, I want to update data for location column for first record. Okay, for 1C. How to do that? We have to write the update command. Update table name TBL demo. Okay. What is the operation I'm going to do? I'm going to do update operation against what? TBL demo. Okay, then we have to say set location equals to Hyderabad. This way I have to write. Okay, if I want to update only one column, I have to say update TBL demo set location equals to Hyderabad. That's it. I want to update one more column, for example, then you have to say comma L name equals to maybe what I can say, some random thing I'm saying here. L name equals to some nice name I'm giving. So using the statement here, I'm updating first record, and in the first record I'm updating two columns, location and L name. Okay, if I run this query, what happens? Will it update only one record, or will it update both the records? Actually, it will update both the records. The reason is we mentioned like which table we have to update. We mentioned yes, TBL demo. We mentioned which columns should be updated. Yes, we mentioned location and L name, but we did not mention which row should be updated. Okay, which row should be updated. We haven't provided the information, so we have to write one where condition, where ID equals to 1, for example. If I say where ID equals to 1, what happens? The first record will be updated. Or here I can say where fname equals to Vamsi also. Fine. Where fname equals to Vamsi. So that first record will be updated. Generally, when we are writing any update statements, we write the where conditions. Not only update, delete statements also. We write the where conditions based on ID, and we make sure the ID values are unique. For each record, ID values should be unique. Names, for example, if you want to write the query against a location or first name or last name, there are chances that different people may have same first name, different people may have same location or same last name. So we create one primary key for our table, and we keep one unique column, so which will accept only unique values. So with the help of that unique IDs, what we can do, we can identify each record uniquely, right? So when you're writing where condition, while you are performing an update or delete operation, generally we go for the ID, but it's fine. Any column you can use. Technically, it is possible to use any column. So if I run this statement, what happens now? Generally, instead of writing in single statement, just for readability, we write like this. Okay. Even if you write in single statement or two statements, also fine. I'm writing splitting it like the operation I'm going to do is update table set. Inside this set, I'm saying all the columns and its new values and where condition. Okay, multiple conditions also I can mention here. So I'm mentioned here. So if I run this, what happens now? Careful guys, when you are dealing with update or delete statements, this is very important. If you forget where statement, it will impact all the records in your database. You may be having some lakhs of records. If you forget a single where condition, it will impact will be very big. So it will affect all the uh, lakhs of records. Okay, so be careful. And just to avoid this kind of scenarios, we write transactions generally, but still we must be careful. Okay, when you're dealing with the live database or any important database. Okay, I'm just executing the statement. Also, I want to execute select star from table. See here, Hyderabad, Nestam. It's updated, right? Simple and straightforward. What you need to remember is you have to remember the syntax. Okay, update table name, set column names along with their values and where condition. So that is what you need to remember. Next, delete record. How to delete record? We have a simple query: delete from table name. Okay, again you have to say where id equals to 2, for example. Okay, so delete from table name where id equals to 2. So the second record I want to delete, for example. If I forget this line where id equals to 2, and if I say delete from table name, it will delete all the records of the table. Okay, make sure you are writing the proper where condition. One row affected. Now if I run this, see here, I got one record deleted. Okay, so these operations insert, update, delete, these operations are known as CRUD operations. Create, of course, creating table also, creating table, reading table, updating table, and delete table. So these four operations are known as CRUD operations. Read, for read we use the select statement. And also these three statements, insert, update, delete, these three statements are known as data manipulation language statements or comments. Okay, is it clear to everyone, or any questions on this part? I want questions. Delete, drop, and truncate. It's an interview question. One value, Ganesh, when one value means, for example, one location, for one record, you want to delete the location like that. You have to use update statement and provide empty data here, empty quotation mark. Okay, that's how it will do. And location equals to empty quotation marks, or let me write another query. Okay, location equals to empty quotation marks, and last name I don't want to update, just where f name equals to Vamsi. If I run this, See, it's empty now. Okay. So as I mentioned, Harini, here, when you say truncate, it will remove only data from the table. When you say truncate and a TBL demo, it will delete the data. When you say drop, okay, it will delete data along with the table also. The entire table will be removed. Okay. So truncate and drop. They will delete both the truncate and drop will delete the entire data. Drop will delete schema also. Okay, that is difference. And coming to delete, when you are using delete operation, you can specify which records should be deleted. What are the records you want to delete? That condition you can mention here. But for truncate and drop, you cannot provide any condition. Okay. And in future we will be learning about identity column. So without adding data to one column, we can increment the value like 1 2 3 4 5 like that. We can have identity columns. Identity column values will be reset when you are using truncate. So when you are using delete, they won't be reset. Okay. So there are some differences like that. The major difference is for delete statement, you can mention where condition. For drop and truncate, you cannot mention them. Drop and truncate will delete the entire data, and drop along with the data, it will remove the schema also. Okay, those are the differences. Any other questions? Any other questions from any other guys? Okay, let us go to next one. Data retrieval language. Retrieval language is having so many cases we need to cover. So select statement comes under the retrieval language. Okay. Let me insert more data. Let me insert more data so that we can see some more examples here. I'm taking new query editor. DB books I have already. I think already I have some data here. Okay, I have some more data here. I can run some queries against it. Okay. Anyhow, let us create a new table so that you can better understand. I think I can save it in another file. It would be easy for me to. Okay, I'm writing TBL customer. Select. Okay, fine. I'm creating one table. You don't know what is this, right? You may get confused. Okay, let me tell you. This is a constraint. Constants we'll see. Okay. We'll do it this way. Okay, guys, I'm creating one table here. Okay, create table name. Table name is TBL customer. Okay, I'm providing some columns here, like first name, last name, phone, email, city, state, and zip code. All are strings I'm taking. All I'm taking strings only, but with different sizes. Okay, based on my my assumption of data, I'm taking different sizes here. First name, last name, phone, email, city, state, zip. So if I run this, what happens? One table will be created under my DB main. Okay, and the columns are like this. Okay, now I'm going to insert some data like this. Insert into table, first name, last name, blah blah blah, all the columns, values equals to, I'm providing the data here. Okay, for phone number, for most of the records I mentioned a null here. For only one record I mentioned some data here. Okay, I can provide the data also fine. So my idea is to insert some more records into one table so that we can see some retrieval statements. So I just selected it, execute. So we can see here one row affected like this, like 7 rows are affected here. Now I got a table TBL customer with some 7 records. Let us see DRL statements here. Data retrieval statements or comments. Okay, this is my table name. For example, if I say select star from TBL customer, what happens? It will give all the records of the table. Okay, till here, is it clear, guys? I just created one table TBL customer. I have inserted some dummy data into it. Okay, I want to perform some different kinds of retrieval actions. So I need some more data, some more records I want. So why I have created one table and added some 7 records into the table. Done. Now let us see different types of retrieval statements here. Okay, first select star from TBL customer. What it will give? It will give all the columns and all the rows of your table. Okay, how it is able to bring all the data is after table name, if you provide any where condition, only matching records will be retrieved. Okay, and here we have to mention the column names. Actually select after select and before from, we have to provide some column names here. If I say star means it will retrieve all the columns of the table. If you want only specific columns, okay, in my table I have 7 columns, I want only 3 columns, for example, then what I can do is instead of star I can provide the column names. Let me write the query here. Select first name comma last name and email also. I want email. Select first name, last name, email from TBL customer. If I write a query like this, what happens? It will give, see here I have 7 columns here, but I'll get only 3 columns here now. I got first name, I got last name, I got email. So here what we are mentioning here, list of columns we are mentioning here. So based on the columns, based on the list of columns you are providing here, that will be retrieved. If you say star, all the columns will be retrieved. Okay, any questions?
Sir, what is that red color, sir? That the thing. What's the error there?
It's not actually error. There is no error here. Maybe in this context it is expecting DBO. This table is already available here, so generally, see, it's a system generated query, but still it is saying it's an error. Okay, there is no error. Why it is coming? Even I need to check why it is coming. Maybe is it slow to identify the names or something? We need to check, but it's not an error actually. Don't think like your program, it will give you compile time errors like that. This editor, it is like your text file only while writing. In recent versions only, they started providing the intelligence also. Previously, we used to not get intelligence also. But while typing, we need to type every column name, every table name. Now at least we are getting the column names and all. Okay, it's not an error actually. Shall we give multiple conditions in one where condition? Yes, we can give. We'll see some examples. Okay. So is it clear? So I'll show you different examples. Don't worry, guys. So while retrieving data, what are the different things we can do? We need, important thing is insert, update, delete. That is important for us. So we'll see different examples there. And next important thing is constraints. Constraints is one topic we need to discuss. That I'll explain you tomorrow. Select statements. So there are so many different combinations of select statements we will be writing, and using joins also we will write. That also I will explain. So somewhere it will be helpful for you. So joins I will explain. Constraints I will explain. Stored procedures I will give some idea. And transaction statements, commit and rollback, I'll explain. So that is the plan. So once we are done with these topics, 3-4 topics are there. Once we are done with, I'll show you how to interact with the database using the Python. Okay, guys, for today I want to conclude.